The Western Roman Empire, once the pinnacle of ancient civilization, faced an irreversible decline over centuries. This episode unpacks how institutional strain and power shifts led to its collapse. At its height, Rome's governance balanced imperial authority with senatorial influence. However, growing military demands and political instability began to erode this balance. The military, traditionally a protector of the empire, increasingly influenced politics, often installing and deposing emperors, reflecting a shift from civic to martial power. Economic pressures mounted as territorial expansion slowed, reducing tribute and resources. Heavy taxation strained citizens and disrupted traditional economic structures. Simultaneously, administrative complexity grew. The empire divided into eastern and western halves, diluting centralized power and complicating governance. Barbarian groups, once allies or mercenaries, exploited these weaknesses, pressing borders and seeking settlement within imperial lands. The Visigoths' sack of Rome in 410 AD was a symbolic shock, exposing the empire's vulnerability and undermining the perceived invincibility of Roman institutions. Internal divisions further weakened response capabilities. Rival factions within the government and military vied for control, fracturing unity. The Western Empire's reliance on federated barbarian troops altered military loyalty and cohesion, challenging traditional Roman military discipline. Emperor Honorius struggled to maintain authority while delegating power to generals and local leaders, highlighting institutional fragmentation. Economic decline accelerated as trade routes were disrupted by warfare and instability, further weakening urban centers. The Church's rising influence began to fill institutional voids, reshaping societal structures and authority frameworks. By 476 AD, the deposition of Romulus Augustulus marked the formal end of the Western Roman Empire, a consequence of cumulative institutional failure and external pressures. This collapse was not sudden, but a gradual erosion caused by intertwined military, economic, and political stresses. The legacy of Rome's fall teaches how complex institutions can strain under external threats and internal dysfunction, a pattern seen throughout history. Understanding these dynamics provides insight into the fragility of power systems and the importance of adaptive governance. The Western Roman Empire's decline illustrates the consequences when institutions fail to evolve amid changing realities. It also highlights how shifts in military power and economic foundations can destabilize even the most enduring civilizations. The empire's collapse reshaped Europe, setting the stage for medieval political and social structures. This transformation underscores the lasting impact of institutional strain and collapse on human history. Reflecting on Rome's fall allows us to examine modern institutions facing similar pressures in different forms. The story reminds us that power, while formidable, is vulnerable to systemic weaknesses and change. By studying Rome, we gain perspective on resilience, adaptation, and the cost of institutional failure. Thank you for joining Timeless Tales for You. Subscribe for more explorations into the forces shaping civilizations past and present.